Alright, my video's on. I just want to say, hey guys, this is going to be super quick, but I still like to do these book reviews, even if it's kind of like a last minute thing, just so that I can have a record of the books that I've read and if they were good and if I should go back for number 2. So today, the book that I'm going to be giving a quick review on is The Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu. I believe that's the way you say it. If not, oh well. The other thing is I don't know if this is going to be spoiler free or not, so I'll just talk, and when I'm done, if it's spoiler free, it's spoiler free. If not, it's not, and I'll put it in the little title. I left my notes at home. So this book was copyright in 2021, and it's due back at the library. So I'm about to drop it back off at the library, and I was able to finish it before it was due. I just didn't get to the book review until now, and that's why I'm in my car sitting in the library recording this. Hopefully it comes out good. Anyway, so this book is about a girl named Ropa, and Ropa is a ghost talker, and she drops out of school, and she pretty much works as a ghost talker. So she's like, hey, these ghosts come to her, and she plays a little instrument, and the ghosts start making sense, because apparently if you don't play the instrument, they're like ooga ooga ooga, and they don't make sense. So she plays the instrument, so then she can understand them and they can communicate, and that's her job, that's her income. And Ropa lives with her grandmother and her sister in a caravan. Pretty small. It's like a little, maybe almost like a trailer park is how I thought about it. And it's on a farm. So they got this trailer park on a farm. And this guy who they call the troll, he always comes and collects their rent. He's always like banging on their door. Hey, your rent's due. And she's always like, yeah, I know. But she can't always control her income either. And so sometimes, it says it in the book, sometimes when she gets income, she has it lost or stolen, or there's always some kind of, typical life. There's always something that comes up and a reason why any money that she does get, it like goes out the door. So how she gets paid, because apparently, dead people usually don't have income. She gets these people, the ghosts, come to her, and she's like, hey, I'll deliver this message. And usually the people that she delivers the message to will then pay her. So it's actually the living people that are paying her for these messages from the dead. So that's pretty much how she talks to ghosts and everything. So then the next thing is she's talking to these ghosts, and this one ghost comes up and she's like, hey, my son's missing. I need help, but I can't pay you. And Ropa's like, nah, like, I don't work for free. I have rent to pay. I don't take like freeloaders, like, get out of here. So it really weighs on her, and she talks to her grandmother, and her grandma's pretty much says, yeah, sometimes you should help people out. It's probably a good thing once in a while to help people out. So she decides to help this ghost out to figure out where her son is. So pretty much she's getting people. Let me back up here. The son is missing. And so there's another little boy who came back, but he's like turned into a husk, and he's like all old, and his face is yucky, and she doesn't know why. Ropa doesn't know why. And she still can't find the son that's missing. So she goes off onto like a whole adventure to find the son. I guess this is going to be a spoiler alert now at this point, because I'm just going to say that the book, The Library of the Dead, there's a scene in here that is the Library of the Dead. She goes down with her friend and the place he's working at, and they take her down into this Library of the Dead, and it turns out that she's really not supposed to be there, and they threaten to kill her, and turns out she's really magical, so she can belong to this Library of the Dead. So she gets all this like magical instruction from the books from the Library of the Dead, and that's pretty much why the book's called The Library of the Dead, because there was a scene where she goes down to this Library of the Dead, and she gets some magical instruction, and she finds some friends that pretty much help her out with the whole unraveling of this adventure. I'm just gonna say, I'm not going to tell you guys what happens, because if you're going to read it, you're going to read it. But I'm going to say that it was a really hard to read for me, because there was a lot of words in it that seemed like they were of, I don't know how to explain it, English. I mean, I speak English, but like an English accent. I'm not even going to do it because it's going to sound terrible. But like, there's some words in here that I had to look up. Just because they are not how I like telly, and there was some other words that I had to look up. And it sounds like this book would be an awesome movie, and I totally could watch a movie with someone speaking in their own accent, but like to read in my head, this voice inside my head isn't English, and it's the way I speak, and I'm from New England, and I have a northern accent, and this right here just was like straight up England, and it was hard because there was some words in it that I didn't even know. I had to like look them up. But what I do like about the book is I love the way the author described the scenery. He was able to make it so that there was a lot of scenery, that imagery. He created the imagery really, really well. The other thing that I liked about the book was the characters. He created the characters really, really well. I just had a hard time reading it just because it was like English, and I had a hard time imagining that in my head. I also felt sometimes as I was reading this that I had to push through, because there was a lot of paragraphs and tidbits that could have been, I feel like they could have been skipped over. There was just more information in there that I didn't seem to even make a connection with, that didn't need to be there. So like there was one paragraph about like her grandfather, or a whole chapter about her grandfather and stuff, and I feel like it was just like too much filler almost. But if there's a second one, because I think there's supposed to be a second one coming out maybe, I would still read the second one. But I definitely thought that sometimes it was confusing as a book, but I think it would make a really good movie. But other than that, I think I've mentioned everything. One of my favorite characters in here is River, the little fox, her little pet. I think that River is super, super cute. And I would love to have a fox as a pet. So that was one of my favorite things about the book. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to go return this book to the library. Library of the Dead. Decent book, but definitely a lot of information and hard to read just because of the way it read, kind of. I don't have an English accent in my head, so that was kind of hard for me to read. Anyway, I'm on to my next book, and my next book is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and so that book will be coming out. Book review will be coming out next, but here is the Library of the Dead review. Decent book, would make an awesome movie, just kind of hard to read. So all right, bye guys, sorry this is fast paced and I gotta go. So